What's up, you guys? I'm your host, Migdalia, and you're listening to another episode of Life with Migdalia. See, I didn't forget the intro this time. Introducing myself. I don't really have much of a life update. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't know. My job is like Jesus Christ. My job is Jesus Christ. You heard it first. No. My job is coming to an end because it's seasonal, and during tax season, I was hoping that I would have a job. Milo is sighing. I was hoping that I would have something within this time frame, but I unfortunately have to go on my furlough, which furlough is like taking a break, so like months at a time, I guess. So like teachers go on furlough during the summer. So I'm taking furlough and I'm hoping to get something small. Like this is another area where I'm really hoping that I could find a bartending job, because why the hell not? Which was what I was hoping for when I was unemployed for those 2 months when I first moved down here. And now that, tax season is over, I'll have more time on my hands. But the first thing, like, I even had a couple like bartending or like serving jobs when I first started in the tax season, whatever, and I let them know. I was like, hey, I don't know what my hours are going to be, but I, can do this, this, and this evening shift. And they were like, oh, unfortunately, like, we need somebody who can do these shifts, and like the shift changes until 4 and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know how my job was going to be. I didn't know what to expect. But looking back now, I should have just taken it, because the job that I have now is like super flexible, and tax season was super flexible. So I kind of missed out on the opportunity, but it's okay because everything happens for a reason. Yeah. So now I'm trying again, and I'm really hoping that something comes up, like an office job that I really, really want, comes up soon. And I'm going to try bartending in the meantime, but I've learned from my lesson when it comes to being unemployed. I have made a full fucking list of things to do just in case I don't find something and I'm stuck at home. I've made a list of things to be productive, to really not feel as though I'm going mentally insane. Because last time I was like this, I got in such a depressive, like, hated life, crying in the shower, crying in the car, like every moment there was just this pressure in my chest of stress and, oh my god, what's going on? When is something going to turn around? When am I going to find a job? Like, it was too much. And I am now at a place where I am much better off now. Like, I had nothing in my savings back then. I, like, didn't see an end, light at the end of the tunnel, whatever. Like, money was not coming my way, or like I thought money wasn't coming my way. And now I'm just in a better spot where, I could take a couple weeks off or so and be completely fine. So that's the lesson that I've learned. Also being like, we need shit to keep us busy. So like, I'm going to be making TikToks. I'm going to be messing around with my makeup. I'm going to try to learn a new language. I want to learn how to play the guitar. Like, just stuff to keep me busy. I'll play my video games. Like, totally fine. And whatever happens, happens. I really have to get in the mindset of no matter what happens, I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to be here. And I have to prepare for that, because we always have to prepare for that. You know what I mean? And the thing about life is, especially right now, and I'm really trying to help myself by saying this so often, at 27 years old, I feel like I've fucking failed. And with as many times as I've had to start over, it really hasn't resonated in my brain for some reason that no matter how many times I start over, I'm still going to be okay. I'm still fine. I'm resilient. I'm adaptable. Like, I can handle anything that's thrown my way and I will bounce back. And I just have to keep telling myself that over and over again, because for some reason, me going through my life has not given me enough proof of that. And I really need to not think that way. Like, and it's a practice thing. You really have to practice being in the right mindset and saying it to yourself over and over again. Like, you can start over at any age. Any age. And I'm pretty sure it was Judge Judy who was talking to somebody, and she was like, if you don't make it in your 20s, you'll make it in your 30s. If you don't make it in your 30s, you'll make it in your 40s. If you don't make it in your 40s, you'll make it in your 50s. And going off of that, it makes me think like I have an uncle, okay? He has multiple different kids. He started young. Like, my uncle is, I guess my uncles are great guys. On my dad's side, let me be specific. So, my uncle, who has multiple kids, like, really, I don't want to say he set himself up for failure, because he really didn't. He just didn't get a college education, which, college isn't for everyone, but he's more of a blue-collared labor type of guy. So he's spent so many years of his life in a factory, working night shifts, like, just pushing his way through, working through factories and shit. So having all of those kids to take care of, like, really eats away at all of your bills. Also with child support. So he was in a rut in that aspect. And he's in his 30s right now. And he just bought my aunt a new car. Like, and that's a prime example of if you don't make it in your 20s, you'll make it in your 30s. If you don't make it in your 30s, you'll make it in your 40s. Because he was, like, renting out houses and, like, just struggling with paying the bills, struggling with groceries, and now he's, like, got a good lot of experience under his belt. He's making good money. His kids are getting older. Like, his kids can now work on their own if they want. Like, he has 2 younger kids as well that he's, needing to focus on too. I think my cousin, what is he, 10? And the other one's 8? 7? Somewhere around there. Like, they're younger. But they just bought a house. They were refurnishing it, like, new cabinets, new car. They have a dog. Like, it really does pan out for people. Like, no matter how many times you start over. At any age. And he's going into his late 30s. Like, my uncle's getting there. And it's just a prime example of how I need to remind myself that even at the age of 27, like, I am not a failure. I am doing the best that I can. There's always a plan. It's learning from my mistakes and trying to figure it out as I go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Nothing wrong with that. I just have my standards for myself are high. And I have a lot of expectations when it comes to myself. Like, I should have a house right now. I should be married. I should have, like, a kid on the way. And comparing myself to a lot of other people my age has been, like, I love seeing, people have a life that they deserve and have worked towards. And I don't want to say it puts a bitter taste in my mouth. It's like, I love cheering you on. And at the same time, I'm like, I can't wait for that. when is it my turn? Like, when is it my turn to finally have the career that pays really fucking well? Or, a house where I can refurnish everything and, you know, stop starting over. Just have something that is stable. That has been an itch of mine for a long time. And truth be told, I got it at my job that I was at for 7 years. But the only issue was I never progressed there because I kept getting told no, which is fine. And I've learned a lot of things from that. And it paid very, very well that I could be financially stable for those 7 years. It's just I didn't prepare for it to happen. And I think that when I finally have everything that I want and more, I'm going to look back and think, like, it was for a good reason. Like, even though I was planning on quitting and I was looking for new jobs, they just beat me to the punch of me leaving and letting me go. It was still, like, I don't know, it needed to happen, I think. Because I got a retail job and I got a float spa, and it allowed me to have some other experience under my belt as well. And as of right now, I'm like, again, in that transition, but I'm just better off. If that makes sense. And I had another point to it, but I kind of forgot at the moment. But we're not failing, We're doing the best that we can. Especially in this fucking economy. Like, holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, now as we get into the topic, this one might be a sensitive topic, especially. I'm sure it's happened to everyone at least once in their life. If it hasn't happened to you, good for you. Maybe it's just because you haven't caught them, or it hasn't been, laid out for you like it was for me, because I was one of those people that always was like, oh, nobody could ever do this to me. I'm awesome and I do everything that they ever ask, and it's, it could never happen to me. So blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the cheating 101. What counts, why it happens, and how to move on from it, because cheating, and specifically getting cheated on, sucks now. And I'm going to lay this all out with stories, like doing the whole thing, okay? What is cheating? I guess should be asked. Cheating or infidelity is any violation of an explicit or implicit agreement about exclusively in a romantic/sexual relationship, in monogamous relationships that usually mean secret sexual or romantic contact with someone outside the relationship. But you also have like emotional, digital, or a pattern of micro betrayals, and that ethical non-monogamy isn't cheating when all partners consent, and cheating is the breach of whatever the partners agree, so you and them. And you have different types of cheating, what they look like. You have your physical or sexual cheating, so like kissing, oral or full-on penetrative sex with someone else. You have the emotional cheating, forming a secret, intimate bond, like confiding and fantasizing, prioritizing another person that undermines your primary relationship. And this often precedes the physical affairs. I actually think it's a lot worse. And an example is like, you get into a relationship with someone, whatever, you get into an argument with your partner. And then when you get into that argument, you go to someone else, someone that likes you, or that you kind of fancy, I guess, which is so weird to me. And you know that they're going to side with you, so you get that validation out of it. And you confide in them, but they're like, this would never happen if you dated me. I would never treat you like this. You're always right. I don't know what their problem is. Like, I think that counts as cheating, especially, with that emotional and making you feel validated every time, or just doing all that, because I think that's the worst fucking type, because that's where you fall in love with somebody, the emotional aspect. And it can turn into romantic. And then you have digital or cyber cheating, sexting, the intimate DMs, porn, or like acting secret with porn, secret dating apps and hookups while you're in a relationship. Now, I don't know if I count porn as cheating. I was uncomfortable with it because I was insecure in my previous relationship or relationships. I should say, because it was more prominent in that previous relationship, but more so now, I just trust my girlfriend. Like, even if she does watch it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, like, whatever. And then you have micro cheating. So the smaller behaviors, the flirtatious texting, which I count flirting as cheating, hiding those interactions, frequent private chats with somebody that just, can hurt someone's trust. And then you have the double life or the serial infidelity. The best thing that I can say about this is, like, if you have watched The Other Woman with Cameron Diaz, I think Kate Upton, maybe? She was like a model or something. And then Leslie Mann or Mon, great movie. Perfectly explains the double life serial infidelity thing, which is the repeated affairs, the long-term secret relationships. And, you have a house with your wife and your 2 kids, and then in the city you have like a side piece or a mistress or something, and she doesn't know about your wife, and then you have several other like mistresses or other women in different cities. It's just so weird. It must be exhausting, the people that fucking do that shit. Like, it's crazy. I think cheating in general would be fucking exhausting. Like, yeah, I don't even imagine how people fucking do this. Yeah. Um, but what counts as cheating just depends on the couple's rules, your consent and your agreement between the partners. I've actually had a friend who did like an open relationship, and I was like, how do you do that without the whole like cheating aspect? And they were like, oh, open communication, like as much as possible. Like, you can't spend the night with this person, or you like can't text them all the time or something, whatever. But it ended up in her getting divorced. Like, she wanted a divorce from her person that she was with, and now she is happily married with a baby and that person's child from another marriage. And I don't know if she's expecting another one, but she's doing so well, and I love seeing her on Facebook doing all of that and living her life. But it's just precious. So it's really just up to you on whether or not what counts. Now, from my other cheating experience, I guess for me, I don't fully know about the nitty gritty, okay? I don't know if Jailbait ever cheated on me. He was very much a player, very much a ladies' man. Don't know if it ever happened. I don't know if it ever came up, at least to me. I don't think he ever cheated. As for Shop Rat, I don't think he ever cheated on me either. He was more that type of like, delete all the guys off of your social media. I don't want to see them on there. Very controlling in the aspect. But Pugsley ended up being with another girl. So from the timeline that I understand, he ended up, actually Tennessee ended up breaking up with him in June or July. And then he went onto the dating apps and met Ghost. And then he was dating Ghost for a couple of months, which she told me that they were dating like in a full relationship. But he was talking to me, and we actually met on Bumble, and it was a whole mess of things, like us coming to terms with realizing like, oh, he was actually dating her while he was talking to me. And then when he's I guess shortly before, like, he ended up just saying, I'm not ready for a relationship, whatever, and ending things with her. I think they dated for maybe 2 or 3 months, given the timeline. So he ended that, started texting me, and we ended up, going far. And then when him and I broke up for the first time, he started texting her and whatever. And it was like a month, not even. This was a week time span where he started hitting up like girls or ghosts or whatever. And it really doesn't matter because I like broke up with him, but it's just interesting. But when I ended it, like there was a guy that was consoling me and we had talked about hooking up, but I was like, I don't want to do this. This makes me super uncomfortable. So I ended up blocking him and never looked back. But he started talking to Ghost after I had ended things, which whatever, like I said, doesn't matter. But then a month, actually 2 weeks. No, that doesn't make sense anyway. A week after I broke up with him, maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks, he and I started like talking again about the relationship and where it went wrong, and I was like, whatever. So we started talking again, and then I ended up moving back in shortly after. And all of my stuff was in storage at that point, but we were sitting on the couch and I just looked over at him on his phone and saw that he was texting Ghost. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I saw a heart next to her name. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're supposed to be back together. What the fuck is going on? Like, what's wrong with you? This is insane. Like, why would you do this if you're not interested, like, in me living here, whatever. And she shortly texted me, December of 2022 or January of 2023, coinciding right there. So I ended up finding out that he was talking to her during that time, besides like me physically seeing it with my own fucking eyes. She texted me, she was like, hey, we were actually texting during this time, blah, blah, blah. And she like fucking pieced it together because I had just bought stuff for the apartment and a peach shower curtain was one of them. So I put it in the bathroom. I posted a picture of me on Instagram with this peach shower curtain in the bathroom because I was like, oh my God, it's so cute. This is like the perfect backdrop for me to do this. And I overall loved it, so I just posted it on Instagram, and then I was sitting on the couch, and I just remember getting the feeling as he walked to the bathroom. I was like, he's texting other girls in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, I'm being ridiculous. Like, no, this is crazy. Like, I don't think he would. And then in her text, she ended up saying, I don't even know if it was her text message. It was probably when we actually hung out together for the first time and pieced together our timeline. But she ended up piecing it together because he was Snapchatting her in the bathroom with the peach shower curtain in the background. And, like, good on her for the investigative work. As soon as she sent me that text message, like, in December or January, it just kind of dominoed effect. And I shortly ended up ending the relationship, but I had a fucking feeling. I had a goddamn feeling that while he was in the bathroom, he was texting other women, and I had that feeling, and I just, having that and being, just sitting with all of that literally made me not trust my intuition for a long time after that. But it always asks the questions. Why do people cheat? Okay, how can you look somebody in the eyes that you are quote unquote in love with or love them? How the hell do you do that to them? How? I will never understand it because infidelity is multi-determined, okay? There are individual factors, relationship dynamics, and situational things or opportunities that all coincide within one another. And the common motives is like the unmet emotional needs, feeling unseen, lonely, lacking intimacy, or the sexual dissatisfaction, the mismatched libido, the novelty seeking, whatever. And that's where I was like more so on the fence of Pugsley like watching porn. Or you have the opportunity or the accessibility, such as workplace relationships, travel, those apps. You have low commitment or relationship dissatisfaction, so like less investment or higher risk. Personality and attachment, so the avoidant attachment or impulsivity, narcissism correlate with higher risk. And then situational stress or life transitions, midlife crises, unemployment, grief, revenge or anger, using cheating as retaliation. People apparently have like thrill seeking, novelty, or the ego boost, so desire for validation or excitement. And then the social and cultural scripts like perceived norms, peer behavior, or historic gendered expectations, which motive matters, okay? It predicts the outcomes. Affairs driven by neglect or low commitment are more likely to end the relationship rather than mistake. What am I trying to say? Than mistakes born of situational temptation. So, I guess in a way, I was more so the unmet emotional needs, and maybe that's why. But also, um, insecure, like not an attractive man. Definitely not an attractive man. So I think when it's more of an ego boost or was an ego boost for him, I don't know if he's cheating on his current girlfriend. I have no idea. But, it made me question it when he liked a post of mine on like my podcast post when it used to be happily abandoned. He liked one of my posts and it made me think, really? You're doing this shit to your current girlfriend? Like, that's fucking crazy. And then he would go out to bars and he would come home and be like, yeah, a girl was hitting on me, but I didn't do anything. And in the back of my head, I was like, oh yeah, good job. Actually, no, reverse that. Out loud, I was like, oh yeah, great, like, good job. But then in the back of my head, I was like, why do you need a fucking cookie for not cheating on me? Like, that is a core framework of a relationship. It's just so fucking weird. And people ask the question, like, how common is cheating? Okay? And we have we have little stats, okay? Lifetime infidelity among married Americans at roughly 15 to 25%. Okay, numbers vary by method, question, wording, or like generation. Recent general social survey show about 20% of men and 13 to 20% of women reporting extramarital sex at some point. Some like different studies, there's report up to ranges of 40% historically, depending on sample measurement, but many affairs involve coworkers, and the studies and reporting note a sizable share of affairs occur with someone or already knows worker friends. And then one news summary reported 31% involve coworkers. Like, dude, what? And a lot of it could be underreported in surveys because of stigma and shame. I'll tell you something, okay? Crazy fucking work. If you cheat on your significant other with fucking sex workers, prostitutes, whomever, because you're actually paying for sex, like, that's probably one of the most wild things I have ever heard in my entire fucking life. Fucking wild. How can you go pay for it when you could just be with your person? Like, that's fucking crazy. At some point, it's like an addiction. Okay, if you do that more often, wild. And how do people find out someone cheated? What's a common detection method? You have digital evidence, those text messages, the DMs, the dating apps that trace, email, phone bills, shared devices. Listen, if you need to know if somebody is cheating on you, go through their phone when they're sleeping. I've done it. I did it to Pugsley. I went through his phone while he was fucking sleeping before we even actually officially dated. But I had the passcode to his phone, so, it was all in. He gave it to me. If you give someone the passcode to your phone, that should be, free reign of all access. Or behavioral changes, such as sudden secrecy with their phone, change in routine, their unexplained absences, different grooming or like distance and withdrawals, like they're, getting their hair cut often, they're looking great, they're going to the gym to work on their physique, like, yeah. Pugsley always put his phone facing down to get me to not see it, or like if I was by him, he would have his phone closer to him. It was super weird. I never was able to touch his phone because he was uncomfortable with me, I guess, touching his phone, which should have said more about it than, I actually looked into, and I always thought like, oh, whatever. And then he started making the points of, this is my privacy, blah, blah, blah. You don't have fucking privacy in a relationship when you're about to be like, when you're with someone, okay? If you were choosing to be with said person, you don't have privacy, okay? They can literally watch you take a shit in the bathroom, and you're over here talking about privacy. I need privacy on my cell phone. Get the fuck out of here. Another is like third-party disclosure, a friend, coworker, or the cheating partner themselves, such as like a confession. Now, here's a big one, okay? If you don't know that this person you're seeing, okay, has a partner, has a romantic relationship with someone, is married, has a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you don't know, but then you find out and you have the emotional turmoil of, I don't know whether to text them and tell them because I'm scared of how they will react, or keeping it to yourself. As someone who was in that position, actually, I've been in the position of not knowing that they had a fucking girlfriend, or saying like, oh, we're actually broken up, or being on the end of being in a relationship where said girl ended up texting me and telling me. I would tell them. Like, I would tell them, like, hey, I'm so sorry this is happening. Like, I didn't know that he had a girlfriend or she had a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever. And, I didn't know. Like, how are you supposed to know? It's not your fault. They didn't tell you. Or you're looking on a dating app and like you can't tell, or you're looking on their Instagram, or you accidentally find them on Instagram or something like that, and then you find out that they have a significant other, and it just breaks your heart, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Please text them. You don't owe them anything, and they don't owe you anything, but for peace of mind, just give them the information so they have that information to do whatever they want with it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be off of your fucking chest. Like, oh, I told them. And if they get angry with me, then you know what? That's okay. It's a lot of emotions to take in. Or, they're like, thank you so much for doing this. Like, this isn't the first time, or this is the first time, like, and they have questions. Answer them. Because they're going through a lot right now, just like you. Probably even more, because their significant other made a promise to them and broke it. It's not necessarily your fault. Now, for those of you, who know that someone has a significant other, and you still decide to go after them or pursue them, knowing full well that technically you are the mistress or the side piece, I cannot stress this. I cannot stress this enough. You are a piece of shit. Smile. That was me smiling. You are a piece of shit. Smile. I don't care whatever the fuck they told you. Oh, like, they actually love me. Like, they don't want to be with them. Like, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. This and that. Like, they said that they would leave them. They're not fucking going to, because if they say that and don't, and it's been too fucking long, then clearly they're not gonna do that. I don't know who needs to get that through their head. They said that they were gonna leave them, like, I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. I'm so much better than they are. Then they would have done it. Why haven't they done it now? You should have enough self-respect to be like, yeah, I'm not pursuing somebody who's in a relationship. That's fucked up. Because here's my thought process. If they cheat on their significant other with you, and they end up breaking up with their significant other to be with you, What is stopping them from not cheating on you? They love me. They said they love me. I don't fucking want to hear it. What is stopping them from not cheating on you? I'm the best they've ever had. I'm just so awesome and amazing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you think. Maybe they actually have a problem and they're going to cheat on you anyway. Maybe they already are. So I, for one, think that if you know for a fact that somebody has a significant other and they are in a romantic relationship with somebody and you still pursue them and you still go after them, you are a piece of shit. Period. End of sentence. Done. Boom. I'm never changing my opinion. Going back to how people find out someone cheated on them, okay? You have the physical clues, unexplained receipts, the scent, the stains, or pregnancy, crazy work. Private investigators or forensic tactics such as GPS logs, surveillance, infidelity DNA tests, emerging, the commercial services. And those are like the extreme cases. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, okay? Or you have the intuition and patterns. A partner's persistent lying or pattern dissonance often reveals that they're doing it before physical proof appears. A lot of people go with their gut instincts, okay? Now, what counts as cheating? These are the gray areas for people. You have the explicit rule. The couple's agreement is the ultimate thing that they, agree on. You agreed monogamy, non-consensual, sexual or romantic contact counts as cheating. Emotional versus sexual. Many couples consider deep, secret emotional intimacy like flirting, prioritizing someone else, or planning futures with them is a betrayal even without sex. Oh my God, this gives me a flashback. Okay, I had this girl who was a close friend of mine in high school. Love her now, like, to death. We were very close. She had a lot of issues with relationships. I am happy to say, like, now she is in a, like, happy marriage. They have a baby. Like, she's doing the best, okay? She's fantastic with her life. But there was a point in time where me and Jailbait and this friend of mine, I'm not going to give her a code name, but her and I were in an argument, okay? And I wanted Jailbait because we were, talking or dating or whatever the fuck. And I was like, am I being ridiculous? Like, I wanted his input about this. And she went to him also. And this was over text message. So what did he do as a result? Because her and I were in a disagreement. And she went to him also. Like, we both went to Jailbait talking about this. He turns his phone off. Because he's not picking sides and not prioritizing either one of us. That started a whole fucking debate and argument. And it was fucking crazy. But that was probably one of the times where I felt like, what's the one that I was talking about? The emotional aspect, like prioritizing someone else. And then you have micro cheating. Small acts can be boundary violations and betrayal that accumulate over time, whether they're cheating legally depends on the partner's expectations. And then you have consensual non-monogamy. And, if all partners consent and boundaries are kept, it's not cheating. The problem is secrecy and lying. And what are the consequences of cheating? For individuals and the relationships? You have acute trauma from the betrayed person, shock, humiliation, grief, rage, PTSD-like symptoms. You have the trust erosion, difficult to rebuild. Even if the couple stays together, the relationship baseline changes. And you have increased risk of breaking up. Affairs are a leading cause cited in breakups. You have the mental health impact, the depression, the anxiety, substance use can spike, people going out and drinking their problems away, and then sometimes growth. With the intensive work that some couples repair and report a deeper honesty after working through infidelity, but it's hard and not guaranteed. Like, sure, can you work through it? I guess, if that's up to you, if you're more of that person, more power to you, but I don't think I could ever fucking do it. I don't think I could ever fucking, oh, you cheated on me? Oh, I'm going to move past this and forgive you, in the relationship, because I can never look at somebody the same ever again. And that's exactly what happened with Pugsley. As soon as I found out that he cheated on me after all these like micro fucking betrayals and whatever else accumulated over time, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm so done with it. It's ridiculous. And that's when I took my rose tinted glasses off and I was like, yep, that's it. But how do we heal after the cheating? The recovery is definitely a process. You can have therapy, there's trauma care, repair work. For the betrayed partner, it's safety first, secure safety, physical and emotional. You have to remove the immediate threats, consider the separation if you need. You have to allow the process because it's kind of a grieving situation. Grief, anger, meaning making are normal. You can't rush the forgiveness. And if you need more on that, go to the forgiveness episode that I created before. There's individual therapy, boundaries and decisions. You have to decide whether to continue the relationship and be clear about what you need. For the partner who did the cheating, full transparency and accountability, okay? Stop the secrecy. Be fucking honest with your person. You have to accept the responsibility without minimizing it and you have to stop the contact with the person that you were, doing shit with. Repair the behaviors, be consistent, be humble, patient in the re-engagement, and you can't take any shortcuts with this because you fucked up and you hurt the person that you supposedly care about, and you're in the doghouse. Like, you have to accept that. You can go to individual therapy to address, the patterns and prevent it from happening. But if you're a couple and you want couples therapy, there's a Gottman Trust Revival, or the affair-specific models, and Gottman and other clinicians recommend stage work, so atonement, attunement, attachment, and trust rebuilding. Practical contracts, a concrete agreement about transparency, phone access, check-ins, social media. You have the time and realistic expectations. Healing often takes months to years, and relapse is possible, and repair is non-linear, okay? Prevention, how couples can reduce infidelity risk. Active emotional maintenance, regular check-ins, shared rituals, sexual openness. You have clear agreements and communication with the explicit expectations about exclusivity, apps, friendships. Address the dissatisfaction early. You talk about needs before they become resentments. Limit the risky opportunities. Set the boundaries around work, travel, alcohol, or parties if these are known triggers. And then you have therapy for attachment or sex issues. If you notice avoidance, mismatch, or sexual boredom, talk to somebody about it. And obviously, ethical transparency. If one wants non-monogamy, negotiate it openly instead of acting secretively, okay? Now, people have discovered cheating like phone bills, receipts, accidental screenshots. People confess over being guilty. It's just so weird. I cannot get it around my head about people who do this as I'm talking about this fucking episode. Some cheaters can show zero remorse and attempt to minimize, while others are devastated and, feel guilty. And both are pretty common. The practical red flags that may indicate cheating, but there's not proof, is sudden secrecy with phone and devices. So they have new passwords and they're hiding their screen, or there's a decrease in sexual or affectionate interest at home, but increased grooming and effort into their appearance, like that's fucking a red flag for sure. Pattern, unexplained absences or shifts in schedule. So if they're like working late all the fucking time, unexplained gifts in the receipts or social media behavior. So new contacts or deleted messages. Cheating is complex and rarely reducible to they're a bad person, I guess. Not all affairs and relationships, but affairs caused by neglect or low commitment are more likely to lead to breakup than impulsive one-time mistakes. And a quick what to do next guide if you suspect or have been betrayed. If you feel unsafe, you have to remove yourself from harm and get immediate help, okay? Gather what you need, save messages. If you think you'll need evidence, pause decisions, avoid the immediate financial legal choices until you've established like stability, unless it's like super urgent. Talk to a trusted friend or therapist, decide the boundaries. Do you need time apart? Get the transparency, temporary separation, and really just talk to a professional about it. And do not blame the other woman if she had no idea you existed, okay? It's not her fault. Cheating damages trust and is traumatic for the person who was betrayed, but the phenomenon is rarely a one-word story because it mixes unmet needs, opportunity, personal wounds, the social context, where that just means like, oh, if he has other friends or they have other friends doing it, you are who you hang out with. If you're healing from being cheated on, just be gentle with yourself, okay? It's not your fault. There's no looking back and being like, I could have done more. Like, what did I do wrong? You probably did nothing wrong, okay? It's just all of them. They made the choice. It was their decision. They are a full-grown adult, okay? They could have made the decision to not do what they did. Because that's what cheating is. You make the conscious decision to do the shit to someone that you supposedly care about or love. I think that's fucking crazy that people hurt their person that way. Just don't fucking cheat. And if you don't, if you want somebody else, break up with that person. Here's another thing that I count as cheating also. If you break up with somebody just to have sex with someone else and then go crawling back to that person, and then you keep doing that, like, oh, but I broke up with them, like it's still a loophole, like I didn't cheat on them, I broke up with them first, that's still cheating. And that's fucking weird. Choose to be with somebody and choose to love them every single day. And if you don't, then just leave the relationship, okay? I know it's difficult to break up with somebody, but repairing the damage that you did when you cheat on them is so fucking worse than just actually leaving. I can say for an absolute fact that, Pugsley may think that I cheated on him, or Jailbait or Shop Rat may think that I've cheated on him. I have never cheated on anyone that I've been with in my entire life. I'm being dead fucking serious. Like, even when I was still like trying to figure out my sexuality, like there was this girl that I was following on Instagram. We were mutually following each other, and I was trying to figure out my sexuality, like if I liked women. And I will admit that I was very curious, and I ended up texting her and being like, hey, how did you know? Because we were like mutually liking each other's stuff, okay? I was like, how do you know? Because at that point I never had like a out gay friend or person in my life other than Pugsley's sister, and I didn't want to ask her to avoid speculation or anything. So I asked her, I was like, hey, how did you know? And she was telling me, like, we were talking about it, and then she ends up sending me a video of her like with a vibrator and masturbating. And I was in the middle of typing out my fucking text message when she sent it to me, and I had to send my message. And I was like, oh my fucking God, no way. And it wasn't even like a, oh my God, yay. It was like a, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I literally told you, um, like, she sent me the video with a question, like, do you like this? And I was like, I really can't answer that because I'm in a relationship and I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I'm just trying to ask my questions and see, like, what's up. And she was like, yeah, totally, for sure. Like, I was like, I'm in a relationship. And then I, like, continue asking my questions. Um, she continued responding. And then she sent one again. And I was like, I can't do this. So I ended up blocking her because I was like, if you can't respect that I'm in a relationship after I said it, like, I can't do that. So I had to figure it out when I was out of the relationship. Like, I couldn't do that while being in a relationship. And that's where I made that mistake. But I never was like flirtatious or whatever about it. But like, that was just the overall thing of it all. But yeah, like, if you don't want to be with somebody or like you want to think about fucking cheating on them or do that, just break up with them. My God. Don't do the hassle of all this other shit, please. It's really not worth it to hurt somebody like that. But that's all I gotta say. So that is the end of this episode. If you guys really liked it, enjoyed it, you know what to do, share it, send it to somebody, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow the Spotify account. If you guys are interested in purchasing products such as jewelry, or anything else that I have on my Etsy page, there's a link in my Instagram bio and TikTok. So my Instagram is Migdalia Bonilla, Migdalia, B as in boy, Onillaa, or Life with Migdalia, Lifewithmigdalia. God, it's so exhausting having a long fucking name, but whatever. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And like, my TikTok and whatever else is pretty much the same. So if you want to give a follow or whatever, do what you gotta do. I appreciate your guys' support, always. If you're interested in listening to, a different topic or have any questions or whatever, don't be scared to comment something or, DM me. More so comment, okay? I look at my comments more than anything. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Love you, bye.